In my last video, I shared with you this Sam's haul. It's full of plenty of meats and fresh items for my pantry, freezer, and refrigerator. Well, in that first video, we focused on the freezer by vacuum sealing some bulk meats. I was able to stock my drawers with plenty of fresh chicken, pork chops, and plenty of hot dogs and sausage. Well, today we're going to continue what we started, but this time we're focusing on the pantry and the refrigerator. The first thing that I'm going to do is the dry items for the pantry, starting with these walnuts. I like to keep my pantry items in clear glass jars. This helps to keep it airtight, and I can see the product levels so that I know when I'm running low on an item, and I can just see what's available. The next item that I'll be putting in the pantry is going to be the crumbled bacon. I have enough in this bulk bag to fill up 1 jar to use now, plus 2 more servings for later. With the 2 servings for later, I'm going to go ahead and vacuum seal those and place them in the freezer. I usually use this black Sharpie to label all of my jars and bags. But I recently purchased a white paint pen that is water soluble, which means it'll wash right off in your dishwasher or in your hot soapy water in the sink. And unfortunately, those did not come in before I made this video, but you will be seeing them in future videos. I've already started using them and I love them so much. This is another little gadget that's a staple in my kitchen, and if you've seen any kind of food prep videos, you've probably seen these before, and they really do help. I know there's a lot of situations before I got these that I needed that third hand, and I would have to call Jason into the kitchen to hold a bag open while I dumped the contents in. Well, this solved that problem. No more messes on the counter from the bag falling over or from missing the bag completely. Now, if you're wondering, why do I take everything out of the original package and put it in jars or vacuum seal it? Well, one of the big reasons why I did this is because I do not have a large pantry. I know newer homes come with these beautiful walk-in pantries. Well, my home is a little older and I have 0 space to store food. So I have taken over a portion of my cabinets and made that my pantry. And with that, I've had to learn how to conserve space. And boxes and plastic bags take up so much space. So that is what started this. Also, this vacuum sealing, I have always done this. My husband and I just celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary, and I have been freezing food since day one. My husband is a hunter, and with that, we take on the processing of the meat ourselves. And so that involves a lot of packaging and labeling, and I guess it's just become second nature for me. I have read in comments that some people think that people who remove things from packages and put them in these containers and make their pantries look all pretty and their refrigerators, they think that it's all for show and that nobody could possibly actually do this every week. Well, I'm here to tell you that I do it, and I couldn't imagine it any other way. To me, this is extending the shelf life of my food, which is a great thing. It helps save money because you're going to have less waste. I love having things in clear, airtight containers so that I can see what I have and how much I have of it. That way I'm not buying duplicates or triplicates of things that I don't need, and so that is going to save me money in the long run too. And honestly, once you start doing this, this is not a hard habit to pick up. I set aside 1 day a week and call it my kitchen day. And no, it really doesn't take all day. everything that you're seeing here only took like an hour or two, and that's going to vary each week depending on how much work you need to do, but it has never taken me a full day unless I'm doing like a big harvest or something. But a typical kitchen day each week is just putting away the items from a grocery haul, rotating what I already have in my pantry, throwing some things out of the refrigerator that we didn't eat, and that's it. It's very simple, and again, it's just a matter of developing new habits. But this is a habit that I've been doing for so long, and again, I just couldn't imagine it any other way now. Do I always feel like doing it? No. And that's when I'll just stick things in the cabinet until I do feel like it. But sooner or later, within the week, I have time set aside to put away the groceries properly. And I know to some it seems like a lot of extra work, but to me, shuffling through all of these bags that fall out of the pantry or pile up in baskets and boxes that take up so much space that I can't even fit things in there, that was a whole lot more work than this. Okay, so far nothing's been very drastic or hard. We just filled up the walnut jar. I threw the rest of the walnut bag in the freezer. Maybe I'll vacuum seal those, maybe I won't. We go through them pretty quickly. And I have vacuum sealed the extra bacon bits that wouldn't fit in the jar. I got 3 servings out of that one bag. And now you see me here vacuum sealing some Egg Life wraps. There was a lot in there, so I divided them into 2 or 3 tortillas per serving, and that way the others won't go bad while I'm eating the defrosted ones. That's all the things that I needed for the pantry, and now these next items are what I'm going to use to stock my refrigerator. And every time that I bring home berries, this week it's raspberries and strawberries, I always like to fill them up with some water in a pan and add some vinegar. Just a little dash of vinegar, depending on how many you have. It could be, a tablespoon or 2. It doesn't take a whole lot. And then to the vinegar, I sprinkle a little baking soda on top just to activate that fizz. And it really works at getting the germs, the bacteria, kills any kind of fungus that may be on there. It just gets them really clean. And honestly, since I started doing the combination of both the baking soda and the vinegar, I feel like it makes the berries and the fruit sweeter. Maybe it's my imagination, but I feel like they're sweeter. I don't know. The important thing in this method is to make sure that you get all of the baking soda and vinegar rinsed off. So I'm going to fill it back up with some water, swish it around, drain it a couple times, just to make sure that we get all of that off of there. Now you also want to make sure that your berries are very dry before you pack them away, or they'll get soggy and they'll start to mold very quickly. And I have found that the best way to get your berries dry is to spread out some paper towels and place them on cooling racks. This allows some space between the berries and the paper towel, and it just really gets them drier than they would had they been setting on the wet paper towel. Also with the strawberries, I like to stand them up on end so that all the water drains towards the stem, but of course that step is optional. Okay, if you saw the first part of this haul, you'll remember that I bought some pulled barbecue, and that's what we're going to have for dinner that night. So I picked up a package of coleslaw mix, and I'm going to go ahead and mix that together. This is the H-E-B brand coleslaw kit, and it's very good. But I do like to make it early and get it in the refrigerator to chill and to let all those flavors kind of meld together. It's really, really good. Now, we like to put barbecue on our pulled pork sandwiches, but I know here in Texas, the coleslaw is like a side dish. Where I'm from, it's a condiment. How about you? How do you eat your coleslaw where you're from? Next, I have this yogurt. And honestly, if you look really close, you may be able to see this isn't yogurt. It's something new that I've noticed in the grocery store. It's spelled Skyr. I don't know if that's pronounced Skyrs. I don't know. But I didn't even realize until I started editing this video that I had picked that up instead of the yogurt. But I did some research, and actually, it is made with skim milk. It is supposed to have less fat but higher protein and taste a little less tangy than normal Greek yogurt. Honestly, like I said, I didn't even realize that I had picked it up until this video. So maybe you can do a little taste test and let me know what you think. Now this next thing is just some peeled garlic that I'm going to go ahead and put in an airtight container, and then I am going to go ahead and cut up 3 of these romaine hearts. The bag came with 5, but I feel that 3 gets us through the week on a heavy salad week. And lately I've been eating a lot of salads with some canned chicken on top, and some pecans and some of those strawberries. It's really good. Now, in my salad spinner, it will only comfortably hold 2 of these romaine hearts. So I'm going to start with 2 and get those cleaned really well, and then we'll go ahead and do the 3rd one. I'm going to share a funny story with you and pretty much tell on myself, but maybe some of you out there can relate. When I quit my job in 2016, I had a full-time career pretty much throughout our entire marriage. I had always wanted to be a full-time homemaker, but I just never really had a lot of opportunity to do that. So when I left the workforce and came home, I was clueless about a lot of things, even though I was 46 years old. And one of the things that I was really confused on is I used to think that a salad spinner was to toss your salad. And whenever I saw them on the shelf, I was like, why would anybody be so lazy that they can't stir their own salad? I can stir my own salad, thank you. I don't need a salad spinner to do it for me. Well, I know. Now I use my salad spinner for what it's intended for, and I love it. Now, with all that being said, it brings me to this next point that I wanted to make. If you go to the description on my channel page, you'll see that I've changed the wording a little bit to include that this is real life homemaking inspiration for women over 50. Now, the reason why I say that isn't to exclude anyone. Everyone is welcome here. But I can remember when I left the workforce, I was lost. I came to YouTube and I couldn't find anybody in my same situation. I found plenty of cleaning and homemaking inspiration, but it was all young mothers with little ones at home, and I just couldn't relate to that. And all the women around my age were either beauty channels or talking about menopause and hormone replacement therapy. So I want to be a place where people can come to get inspiration and confidence regardless of what season you're in, whether you're an empty nester, newly retired, or just simply stepping into homemaking later in life. I want this space to be for you. Okay, back to the video. You've seen me prepare some cilantro and put that in the refrigerator. That's also going to be for the pulled pork sandwiches that we're going to have for dinner. I just like having the flavor of cilantro with barbecue. I think it's a really good combination. And here I'm cutting up some not so fresh zucchini and squash from the fridge along with those cilantro stems and the romaine ends, and I'm going to give them to my chickens as a special treat. Nothing goes to waste in this kitchen. Now, while cleaning out my refrigerator, I noticed that I have a half bag of kale and a half bag of baby spinach. And these are items that I usually leave in the original bags, but I have these reusable Ziplocs that I never have used before, and I thought that I would start giving them a try and start working them into my routine. So what you're witnessing here is the very first time using these, but I think they're going to work out well. Do you use these resealable bags? And if you do, how do you like to use them? I have noticed that they're a little hard to get dry once you clean the inside out. So if you have any special pointers or tips on how to take care of these, please let us know down below in the comments. Okay, now I believe I have all of the Sam's haul put away, and I'm going to go ahead and prepare some boiled eggs to have on hand throughout the week. And I use the 5, 5, and 5 method with the Instant Pot. That's 5 minutes pressure cooking, 5 minutes delayed release time, and then 5 minutes in an ice water bath. And it may sound crazy, but boiling eggs was one of those things that I found intimidating at first, because how are you supposed to know when they're really done? Well, this is a no-fail system. It works every time, and the peelings practically fall off. Now all of the berries are dry, and I do want to point out that I usually put a paper towel in the bottom of the containers along with one on top to absorb any extra moisture, and for whatever reason I failed to do it on this day, but later I did go back and add them. I just want to take a minute to say welcome back to all of you that keep returning to my videos. I appreciate your support so much. And if you're new here, my name is Luann, and I am so glad that you stopped by. I hope that if you enjoyed today's video, you'll go ahead and subscribe. And also, the best way to show your support is just to give this video a big thumbs up. It helps push these videos out there to other people that may find this content interesting or helpful. Also, if you're new, I hope that you'll take a few minutes to introduce yourself down below in the comments. Now here is a look at the refrigerator. This is with everything in there, and I mentioned before something about how people make their refrigerators look real pretty and they just do it for show. Well, obviously here I'm not doing anything for show or to be pretty. Nothing in here matches. I use what I have. I don't invest a lot of money in containers and special things. I just put it in what works, whether that's mason jars, Tupperware. Use what you have. The point is just put them in airtight containers and to be able to see what you have. For me, this is what helps. Nothing too fancy at all. Now let's head over and take a look at the pantry. If you're interested in starting your own kitchen day, or if you already do one and you just want some tips or something to keep you on track, be sure to check out my fridge and pantry prep day checklist as a free printable down below. It's a practical guide to help you stay organized and save time, which in turn is going to make your week a whole lot easier. And to go along with that, be sure to check this video out next to see the first half of this Sam's haul and pick up my free freezer inventory worksheet and bulk buying savings tracker. I'll see you there.